The best way to stop an armed criminal is a whole bunch of armed good guys. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of Brazil. Here we're going to see an attempted drive-up mugging that is going to go really badly for the mugger. So let's watch what happens. We'll come back and learn some lessons in a minute. So here we see this couple walking across the street from left to right, and it's about, 10:15 at night, and this guy on a motorcycle pulls up kind of in the middle of nowhere. This isn't an intersection, starts talking to him. When they try to walk away from him, you're going to see him kind of put his hand down and flash a gun and say, hey, I want you to give me your purse right now, which the woman complies. They're not in a position not to, and she starts pointing at this guy, and you see him pop the clutch because a whole gaggle of cops is going to come out and accost this guy. Whoa, he made a bad mistake there. So it seems there were 5 police officers there, and the lady gets her handbag back, and this perp is going to get a quick trip to jail, and lucky he didn't take the room temperature challenge. If you like learning lessons like this, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss a lesson every single day when we post one. I think there are some significant lessons here from the perspective of the intended victims as well as from the responding officers. And we're going to focus on transitional spaces like the street, about knowing when to comply and how to get out of the danger zone, and about the officer's work here in apprehending and taking someone at gunpoint rather than pulling the trigger. So let's talk just a little bit as this one unfolds about, first of all, transitional spaces. So these folks are crossing the street. Whenever you've got a car that can come up upon you quickly, you're definitely in a transitional space. Now, I don't think here that we have the rules of stupid. We're not out past midnight. I don't know where these people are, but I don't think the rules of stupid are a problem here. But when you are in transitional spaces, you got to be aware that that can lead to opportunities for you to be victimized, and you just have to be aware of them. Doesn't make you paranoid, just makes you aware. Now, as this guy comes up to a stop here, I just want to pay attention to the fact there's literally zero reason for him to have stopped right here. There's no light, there's no traffic, there's nothing. He is focused on these people, and he should not be. This is definitely a problem. So in your color code of awareness here, something's wrong, and you have to take steps to investigate to see what is wrong to protect yourself. So getting closer to that kind of thing would probably be a bad idea. You want to keep your distance so that you can get away if you have to. That's what the color code does for us. Now, when he finally comes up and he says, yo, I've got a firearm on me here, they try to get away, but he's going to come up and flash that gun. Now, you got to think about your choices at this point. Am I going to run from this guy? Am I going to comply with this guy? Or am I going to fight? Well, clearly, if you were a firearms carrier here, this guy has just said, hey, I have a gun, or he's just kind of picked up his shirt to show. He hasn't drawn. That's not drawing on a drawn gun. You could definitely conceivably outdraw that guy from that kind of a condition, but this lady doesn't have the attitude, skills, and plan to defeat an armed motorcyclist like this, so she just hands over her bag, and I'm totally okay with that. But notice that she's kind of pointing, hey, look, this guy here has got a problem. I don't know if they've identified themselves as officers yet, but if you have to actually comply, give them what they want, but then run. Do not stay in the danger zone, because I've seen many times where bad guys will hurt somebody anyways, even after they have complied. So don't just stay there for him to continue to, get things from you. Throw him what he wants and run the heck out of the danger zone. Now notice right there, the guy actually popped his clutch. He was like, oh, I got to get out of here, because he saw that gaggle of cops coming, no question about that. And then he complies. Now I want you to notice that these officers have guns up and on target. This is an armed robbery, so could it be justified to use deadly force here? Certainly, but is he an immediate deadly threat? Do they have to? No, this is not condition black where it's time to actually shoot. This is condition red where it's time to give a verbal command at gunpoint, no question, because it is a potential or an imminent deadly threat, but not an immediate one. And because he complies, they don't shoot him, and I think that's wonderful. Now, I do want to pay attention here as these officers are going to close in on this guy to muzzle awareness and discipline. So they've taken him at gunpoint, and that's great. He's complied, and he's going to comply. So they have to continue to maintain in case he decides that he doesn't want to comply at some point in the future. But pay attention to the innocence here. To the officer who is on the kind of the top right, the far right at the 3 o'clock position, and watch his muzzle. And what's going to happen is he is going to push that muzzle right past an innocent bystander, the victim in this case, as he goes by. She's going to cross right in front of him here, and you're going to see him walk right behind her, and he has put his muzzle right on her. This other officer did as well. You got to learn muzzle discipline. The rules of firearm safety are always in effect. Now, obviously, I'm really grateful that these officers showed us a great example of using a firearm effectively without actually shooting it. I'm grateful that the people were not injured, and I do want us to think about muzzle discipline at all times as defensive firearms shooters and as good people as we cover our ASP.